I was diagnosed April 20th, 2016. I was 46 years old at the time. So the symptoms started in 2013. I was running at the time, and I started ramping up my training in August. And after maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I started getting this weird kind of cramping in my right foot. And I knew that it wasn't just a regular cramp because it wasn't responding to stretching or changes in electrolytes or diet or anything else. It was just kind of this odd thing. And it wasn't until a couple of years later that I was getting physical, and I explained to the internal medicine doctor what was going on. He said, "You need to see a neurologist." And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course. Why didn't I think of that?" So I kind of expected to get a positive result. And when I did, I was a little bit relieved to finally know what was causing my problems. But then it was also kind of a sinking, surreal feeling like, what now? And I imagine everybody has a similar experience where you start doing research online and reading everything you can read, find out what the symptoms are, what the treatments are, and everything else. So one of the first things I found was I needed to exercise. So I had been exercising a fair amount, not as much as when I was training for the marathon, but I was still exercising. And I thought, well, I'll walk every day and I'll do Tai Chi. So I started walking every day. I started doing Tai Chi. And what I didn't know until maybe a year and a half later, I learned this from Nan Little when she was talking about forced exercise. What I learned from her is that it has to be more intense than what I was doing. But during that year and a half, I walked every day. I did a bunch of Tai Chi. And then after a year, my doctor said, you should try rock steady boxing. And that was April of 17. So I went to see Marty and her crew over at Rock Steady Boxing Green Valley. I really enjoyed it. So I started going every week. And actually, once I got to a certain level of intensity, it actually helped out quite a bit more. But then I have other problems running with my posture. My back gets really sore because I lean forward, I lean to the side. I have the same problem with my arm. In fact, after the onset of symptoms, before the diagnosis, I noticed that my right hand just wasn't doing the things it used to do. Like, for example, I noticed myself driving with my left hand on the wheel. And my kids were 6 and 9 when I got diagnosed. And I wondered that day, what should I tell them? I didn't tell them that night, but of course, if you tell a 6-year-old, hey, I have Parkinson's disease, they're not going to know what you're talking about. So what I told them was, sometimes my right hand needs help. Christian and I don't work out together, but we do similar things, like we both do Spartan diseases. He was made Spartan races, and the sprint was actually fun. And I did better than I thought I would do on the obstacles. And I thought, I want to do more of this. So I signed up for the Las Vegas Super in March. That was not so much fun. It was really hard. In between, I did the Fox Foundation's hike or climb, whatever, to Mount Whitney, which was a lot of fun. It was a great trip. In January of this year, like the first week of January, I got a text from Christian saying, hey, there's this thing called Roto Slow. Do you want to do it? And I never really rode before, except Darby was working with me in her Recalibrate program, and I tried her rower, and it was okay. I wasn't dying to do more, but when he suggested it, I thought, sure, why not? I'll find out more about how I respond to rowing, how it helps my disease management, and it ought to be fun, and it has been.